This podcast is intended for mature audiences and may not be suitable for all listeners. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the podcast creators or hosting platform. Listeners' discretion is advised. By continuing to listen to this podcast, you acknowledge that you are of legal age and understand the adult nature of the content. Thank you for tuning in.
This is a lifestyle. It's not a sport. This is a fucking lifestyle.
Beautifully said.
It's
yes,
an art
definitely.
Form. It's an art form. And I love that the narrative is sport. I love it. I'm cool with that too. But that's not me. You follow me? So what I'm saying to you is that all the young brothers and sisters coming up, you can take any platform you want, but if you don't get into a circle in a party or something and you don't rep your shit off, no security, no fucking setup shit, and you jump in and you get your props.
The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Flash Talks, history worth listening to. Today, we are honored to have a very special guest, Kenny Gabbert, aka Ken Swift, also known as the epitome of B.Boy. Ken Swift is a true pioneer and one of the greatest influences in the dance of breaking. His personal style and original techniques has established movements critical to the dance foundation, inspiring B-Boys and B-Girls worldwide. Kenny's career began in 1980 and is an original member of Vice President of the world-renowned Rocksteady crew, responsible for bringing breaking to many different parts of the world through the extensive tours and classic hip-hop films. He has received various Lifetime Achievement Awards for his contribution to the culture, including a Luis Reyes Rivera Lifetime Achievement Award at Amherst College and a Hall of Fame Living Legend Award from the Korean Tourism Agency, which declared him an honorary ambassador of Korea and positive youth cultures worldwide. Ken is a multi-talented artist who continues to enjoy the dance for its true worth, freedom of expression, and love of music. He received a Bezzy Award for choreography for the first off-Broadway show hip-hop musical called Jam on the Groove, as well as a Drama Desk Award nomination for Best Choreography. This evening tonight, we're going to dive into the world of B-Boy and learn from the experiences and insights of the legendary, which I call an iconic B-Boy master, Ken Swift. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Ken Swift! Swift, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, man?
How was the
Yeah,
intro? How's the intro?
that music got me a little bit charged up. I'm gonna just say it though. I was about to say, ha ha ha. Yeah, man.
Super dope.
Thank you for having me here, man.
Man, thank you. It's an honor. You don't understand, Kenny, how much is an honor. So many people have been asking, please try to talk to Ken. So many people want to know how you started, where you went, the beautiful and amazing things you've done for this globally, let's say. So thank you for joining us. And I want to give you the flowers here, man, that you're still with us and you deserve it. You've done so much and we're practically fam and we don't even know it. So thank you for coming down, being part of a guest of Flash Talks. Thank you, brother.
It's my pleasure. And I hope I'm loud enough because I'm a little bit backwards with the computer. Hey,
Okay.
first of all, thank you guys, man. It's all good. I'm doing a lot of these things, man. It's so funny. And it's great. And everybody that asked me to do it, I'm like, cool, let's talk about shit. You know, sometimes it's like, I don't even know who's asking me to talk about shit. You know, but
Well, let me tell you, brother. We're from the same hood. We're from the same city. You know, like I'm the generation after you, basically 90s era. And you're like the elders for me. So I was looking up to you guys when it comes to the New York City Breakers, Rocksteady Crew, Dynamic Rockers, Incredible Breakers. Those you guys are like the X-Men in the Marvel films for me.
and you
Those
did
are
that. And you did that, and I appreciate that. I'm pointing. Oh, now I see the camera. So, my brother, trust me when I say this. Thank you for honoring all the crews that you mentioned, as there are so many more. But you know,
yes.
we had our little platform, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna talk to you about me because you asked me about my stuff. So I came up as a young kid with graffiti and wall writing with my brother. Graduated to DJing and MCing with the master, Devious Doge, who was my
Dope.
brother that lived right above me in my same building. So I got blessed with my brother Too Near. Take notes.
Yes, yes.
But what I'm saying to you is that I was a young kid at 13, maybe 14. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to push back my years, man. I just know in the late 70s, I was into music because my mom was into music. So Kenny was like into a lot of different things, like comic books and drawing pencils, illustrations.
Okay.
I was into things, you know. So I was just everything just made sense with hip hop. It was just the flow that I was about to have. And in public school, when I graduated in sixth grade, you know, I met some different brothers and sisters, you know, and I went to junior high downtown to take the subway. And then, you know, I just met a lot of different people that they were writing on the walls and stuff. So my first experience was with graffiti and wall writing. And my brother, you know, they helped us out. And then I mean, the story is crazy. It's just like writing, DJing, MCing, and then the last thing I saw was Breakin. And when I saw my dude throw it down on the floor, I was like, what's that stuff? I didn't ask. I just went after him.
Oh, so you just threw down without knowing what you were doing?
Nah, he did something and I did something right after him because I was imitating. You know, when you're a young person, they say, "I dare you to do that." You know, like I dare you to jump from that to that, right? It's
Correct.
like some 8-year-old shit. You know, like so we have that daredevil mentality in our minds. And you know, I saw him do a shuffle, and I did it. You're going to read about this. You know, I've said this 1,000 times. I'm sorry to repeat the story, but Doze is a really big influence to help me with his cousins from the Bronx that brought the cassette tapes down. We heard the Furious Five, and this is not vinyl. This is cassette tapes of people recorded jams and parts and stuff. So it's a big deal.
Now, around that time, did you know that the hip hop elements were all together from graffiti, breaking, DJ?
You can't talk about that, brother. You can't talk about that
Why is
because,
that?
well, I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay,
Because,
unpack it. Unpack it. I want to know.
because I'm gonna tell you, uh, to my understanding, you know, this was an underground voice of creativity, and it's questioned by many. But it wasn't labeled the name. Bambaataa gave it the name. When he said it's hip hop culture, he just grouped it up. That's what I know. So if anybody's going to correct me, that's fine. But it was Bambaataa that said these are the four elements of hip hop culture, and that didn't happen until it was like 80, 81,
Okay.
if I'm correct. So what happened before was the creation of what would become hip hop culture, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I know you were there before the name was coined hip hop culture, like
I
you mentioned
I
before.
was I was right there before, right before.
Now, besides those, who would you consider were your mentors and teachers at that time that were kind of guiding you through either life or anything that has to do with you learning about this dance and learning about the DJing and learning about just that life? Who were your mentors at that time that you besides those? Who else were helping you or guiding you or something?
Um, so there's a brother that I have to mention. His name is Kid Terrific, and he was from the number one Sure Shot Boys uptown, Manhattan. Um, and his partner was Marky D. Rest in peace. So my oldest brother is Speedy. His name is Speedy.
Okay.
He got in trouble in the streets. He had to go to the military. He did his thing. Came back home, you know, and he was down with them, and they were older than us. So, so I saw the number one Short Shot Boys with sweatshirts and letters. They had the sweatshirt on the front, the name. You know the story, brother. Uh, Status, all that stuff, and yeah. But when I seen them, I saw them rocking. They were doing some rocking shit. It wasn't really on the floor like on the floor stuff, you know. Well, so yeah, so I was like, I was good with it, but when I seen one of the brothers get down to the ground, it blew my mind. You know what I mean? I was like, that's me. You know? I'm gonna do that too. So I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna give you two more names. I'm gonna tell you Magnetic, little Kid Terrific. I'm gonna say Kid Sorcerer, Kid Galaxy, Fritz. This motherfucker used to break in Timberlands. Footwork,
Whoa.
fast footwork in Timberlands, Fritz. I would say he's Rock City Crew with my man Son Dance and Charlie Rock from Harlem for Uptown Manhattan.
Yes.
Yeah, 90th Street. So anyway, man, that's it, man. I'm not gonna look these brothers right here, and I mean, they put that work in. So what can I say?
So after that, what made you start getting into films and all that? Like, tell us a story about how you started getting introduced to like getting put down in movies, music videos. Like, when was it the path that you saw in your mind? Like, yo, I want to be part of all this. Like, was like, explain to all the viewers and listeners, like, what inspired you to say, yo, I want to be in movies, I want to be in this.
You know, I was just living life at that time. I didn't have a dream to be in a movie. I like, what? That shit don't even make sense. I was trying to get money. I was in trouble in the streets back in the days, man. That's a real talk, man, you know? So I had a lot of friends that I ran with, you know, we was just like hyenas, man, running around the streets, acting crazy. I never dreamed of this. I never dreamed of having a platform. So when you say this question, you know, it's not. I didn't imagine this. You know, it's things came about, and look, we were just in the right place at the right time, my brother. You follow me?
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, look, we could talk about dynamic, New York City breakers, floor masters. We could talk about, you know, we were at the right place at the right time. Ending.
Yeah, so would you say you were living the moment and you weren't thinking of the future? You weren't thinking of the past?
Nah. We was riding the fucking wave. We was riding that fun shit. We were living hip hop for what it is. Hip hop is about having fun. We were just having fun, bro. And that's the message. Like to now, right now, you better enjoy this shit and just love it, or you're not gonna really know what hip hop is. Like,
Definitely. And that's why I move on to the second question, or the third. In the current state of hip hop culture right now, what is something you would like to change?
Well, look, man, you can't change anything from what it is. I have seen 4 decades of a roller coaster. It goes like this. It goes like this. It gets its height. It gets its down. I am a product of the 80s. So we were the first group of dancers, B-Boys, B-Girls, to be exploited in this culture. And, you know, we were happy to do it because we were 17 years old, 16. We, Rocksteady, got involved with a record label and music videos, and you know, we did our shit. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, for sure,
Right,
But
right.
the thing is, a lot of listeners and viewers,
What was you saying?
a lot of listeners and viewers don't know this. I know your history because I'm very close to some of your fans, and I've been watching you, and I've been watching, like,
Yeah,
from
you know,
early 90s
you
all
know,
the way. So a
you know.
lot of listeners, they don't even know like certain history. And that's why I want to like dig in the sense of brothers and sisters that are out there globally could be like, yo, so that's how cancer, because you know, we got kids listening and they want to be inspired. They're already inspired by you.
But you know, I know, and you know, and the world knows what it is. You know, you gotta dance. You gotta love this art, man, and live it. This is a lifestyle. It's not a sport. This is a fucking lifestyle. You
Beautifully,
understand me?
beautifully said.
It's an
Yes,
art
definitely.
form. It's an art form, and I love that the narrative is sport. I love it. Yeah, I'm cool with that too. But that's not me. You follow me? So what I'm saying to you is that all the young brothers and sisters coming up, you can take any platform you want, but if you don't get into a circle in a party or something, and you don't rep your shit off, no security, no fucking setup shit, and you jump in and you get your props, you ain't gonna know what a B-boy and a B-girl is. You ain't. The party has to be relevant. The party has to be relevant. The jam has to be relevant. It's not about judges. If you don't know how to get in that circle and get your props and get to do money, you're never gonna know. Like, you're never gonna really experience the culture of hip hop, because the contest is technical now. It's all right.
Now, this is the thing. Now, when I'm asking you questions, Kenny, it's
You
not because I
better,
don't
you
know.
better ask me questions right now, because you got me here, bro.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, if I'm asking you questions, it's not because I don't know. I know these things. Like I know who you are, and I know the culture. I've been living it. I'm still living it. But I'm asking for those that don't know, because there's viewers out there that don't even know what hip hop is. So, and there's a misconception of what hip hop is. So one of the reasons why I did this platform and created the show, it's to break down and show the positive side of hip hop, like not show the negative side of hip hop. Just so the corporate people and all that, I'm not into the sports.
What's the negative side of hip hop? Tell me right now, what's the negative side of hip hop?
The negative side of hip hop is like that mumble rap talking about like, you know, all the, discriminating women and just
Yo, bro,
all.
you nailed it. Second question. So I'm sorry, bro, and I respect you so much, but I just want to feel you and where you coming from. Follow me?
Yeah,
So
for sure, man.
so hold up. So let me ask you one question. I'm gonna stop it, and you can keep asking me questions. Man,
Okay.
so when you interview people, do you understand what they're saying, or do you accept everything they're saying?
I accept everything they're saying because it's your opinion and your experiences of what you've witnessed.
Hmm.
I was never I wasn't in the 70s, I wasn't in the 80s. I could only talk about 1993 and on because that's when I got introduced to the
Oh yeah,
culture.
oh yeah.
And I became a Zulu. I was a Shaka Zulu under Lucky Strike. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, my brother.
And Lucky Strike, that he was my mentor. He guided me. I was a big heavy Shaka Zulu with him, and I'm a martial artist since a little kid. And I was
Oh,
kind of like,
let me chop you off real quick. How do you know when somebody is speaking the truth? In your
well,
interviews, in your interviews, like how do you accept everything everybody says to you on this interview right now? If you don't know them, let's just say you talk to somebody from New York, right, from whatever time, and they tell you everything. Do you accept it, or do you question it? Are you okay with it? I'm just asking, bro, because there's a lot of motherfuckers that are front. So I'm just asking you that question right now.
I would question it back
Talk to me.
because I would
Talk to me.
question back. Let's say if they said they created the baby freeze, which you created,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna check them and be like, well, isn't that Ken Swift's move? That baby freeze? I will immediately, because I know my
Mhm.
history. So I will know if they're lying because I've been around.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
a young jack that just started five
yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
So I will kind of understand. Like, wait, if somebody's saying I created the windmill and the other person on the interview says I created the windmill, now you got brothers that are from your era saying they created the windmill, and then you got another crew saying the same thing. I could only take
I'm
what they're
feeling you
saying.
right now. I'm feeling you right now.
You feel what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things like you as a brother, like you're like a Jedi master. I see you as a Jedi master. So when I do these interviews and I ask, it's just to know for the viewers, because I know my information. I know who you are. I know where you've been. Like it's crazy. Like it gets deep, and we'll talk about that later on. And you see, once you realize, you're like,
It's
yo,
fine,
this
bro.
brother's close.
Natural. I respect you. Yo, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna just let you know. There's a lot more to learn, my G. All right.
Yes,
I'm just saying that to you, and just
for
be
sure.
open minded. And
Always.
I love that you're sharing this platform for people. But I want to give a message out to anybody who's listening.
Go ahead. Take it away.
I just want to say, yo, don't believe the fucking hype. You know, Public Enemy, my man Chuck B. He was really on point with what he said, and a bigger spectrum. But like with you, flashback, with your interviews, Just you want to bring people in, but it don't mean they telling the truth. It
Absolutely.
don't mean they fucking saying their history. It means they trying to celebrate them own self. Follow me? And my fucking word is platinum. I put my work in it on the fucking concrete to this day. To this day, it's not a joke. I'm not even front. I'm not trying to even brag, but I'm saying just be aware who you interview. Follow
Yeah,
me?
for sure. For
Because,
sure. For
because
sure.
yo, this shit is true. And if motherfuckers is lying, that shit is poison to our community.
Absolutely.
You follow
A
me?
thousand percent. A thousand percent. I
Thank you.
understand.
Thank you.
And it's
Thank
a
you.
brother,
And
that I
I did not create the chair freeze. That's bullshit. That's some other shit. Whoever said that's crazy. I didn't create that chair freeze. I did it. And but the people that deserve the props for that need to get their props. You heard?
Yeah, so now how will people know who created the chair freeze if they weren't there and you were there? They will have to ask you because
Bro, you gotta see now. This is the best question right now. And I appreciate that, bro, because you're really digging in, Flash. So here's the thing. It's regional, territorial, it's New York, right? So breaking started in New York City. It's in the Bronx, right? We know that. The Bronx
yes.
started this art form that expanded to the world. So there's these particular humans, right? These guys and girls that did stuff at a specific time that was really, really important. And I don't think they thought about language too much. They were like, but if homegirl went down and did her move and she called it something, people knew about it, right? If some other brothers in the hurt jam threw down or something and did a move, they said that's dude's move. So you had to really make any move you did yourself, your personality.
You were branded. You were branded for yourself.
That's the original shit right there. And I wasn't there. I'm not gonna front. I will never front. I came way later, but I have friends that have schooled me, and I have mentors that I've had conversations with, and I've had people that I've danced with that are from that era. So I want to say this to you as a thing, as you continue to do your research, just know, man, there's objectives and personalities and perspectives. Some people want to claim a lot of shit and they full of shit. Just telling you, brother.
And that's true
Be ready.
because
Be ready.
you
But you ain't gonna know.
for sure.
But you ain't gonna know, bro. You ain't gonna
Well,
know.
I won't, but I will. You know why?
If you ain't from New York, you ain't gonna know. They can tell you everything you want to hear. All right, so be on your BI, and
Yeah, no, for sure. Now check this out.
we
You're
go.
not the only brother that said that to me. One of the other mentors that I have in my life is Abby TBB. And you know that brother.
Mm-hmm.
Abby TBB told me the same exact thing because he knows I ask questions, but guess what, Kenny? The dudes that bullshit on this show, they get revealed themselves because it's simple as that. If they start bullshitting me, I don't need to point a finger and tell them, yo, you bullshitting me right now. I don't have to
You don't say
because
nothing anyway, right? You just keep it calm.
that's it. That's all I can do. And then after the show, it shows up in the comments. Brothers, like for example, from your time, will start checking them. I was there. You're bullshitting. You didn't break. You weren't breaking till 85.
You can't
Then
have your hands. You can't hide your hands. People will fucking pick your shit up.
Exactly, because I know this is a lifestyle and I see this as a lifestyle. I don't see this like me. I'm a DJ on the side, but I'm also a B-boy. I like graffiti. I follow the elements. I live this. I'm not like the part-time. I'm not the part-time
You
B-boy.
live in hip hop culture right now.
All the way. Look at the elements on the platform. I got the B-boys and the B-girls. I got the DJ, the MC. I got the graffiti. And then we are the knowledge. So I know my lessons. I know my things. But the question you asked me about the bullshitters out there,
What's
yeah, or the bullshitters are out there. I could only ask a question, and if they want to lie, that's on them because they're the ones that are gonna look silly on the show. You feel what I'm saying? They're gonna look silly. But we're gonna move on
You
because
know,
yeah, go ahead.
I got you on that right now. I got you right now. Somebody's going to check
Absolutely.
on my block. If I talk shit, somebody's going to be like, hell no, Kenny, stop playing games. And it's not
Yes.
like I didn't do that because I try to keep it 100 for myself and my experience. But yo, you can't fucking hide.
Nope.
No. And it's like all these guys and girls I hear, there's a lot of people coming out talking slick. They talking history. They talking like I did. The I shit is fucked up. Yo, humble yourself. Oíste. Just chill. Just chill. What did you do? I did that. Thank you for sharing. You know what hurts me, man? Flash, and I don't want to drag this under the dirt, man, but
It's all good. You speak. This is an open floor. You do what you got to do, my brother.
Man, I'm gonna tell you that I have 4 decades of a lot of experience with a lot of friends and followers and lovers and people that just love this culture and that have passed and that are still here and don't even practice the arts, but they remember the ambiance of the moment of youthful love. You know, like we're not talking about this right now, Flash. You know, when we were little, we were in a party. We were like having fun and shit. And like that's my message. You know, it's like it's hard because of the Olympic direction and competitive sport. All this shit is really fast driven. It's really coming fast at us right now. And I respect that. It's what it should be, I guess, in evolution. But the message is, it's like you gotta fucking love this shit. You gotta love the music. If you're gonna dance, if you don't love the song, you're gonna dance whack. So the song makes you fucking dope. And I think people want to just dance first. They're practicing, and you know what I'm talking about. So my message is just like the music is the key. Study the history. It's okay to be where it is now. You know, it's okay to be in a direction of sport. Fine. I get it. But we still have to understand and overstand that this is a culture. It's a fucking great ass fucking culture.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, brother.
Born in the USA. Holla. People
Yes.
don't want to talk about that shit too much. This black
Yes.
black culture, black and brown people. This is heavy shit. Anyway, I get excited about that because
And it's okay. I love that because it shows your passion
no, I believe
for the culture, and you live it. You don't only believe it, you live it. You're a living icon that is walking hip hop. You're a billboard. Anywhere you go, you're hip hop. So it doesn't really matter.
Thank you.
If someone questions you, you don't need to even answer because you're standing. You're a hip hop culture billboard standing wherever you at. You could be in the middle of the desert and you're hip hop culture. I know that. So
But
now,
Flash, you heard where I'm coming from, though, right?
oh, 1,000%.
I think because you heard me, right? So what I'm saying to you, real quick, before I'm sorry to interrupt, but what I'm saying to you is so important culturally to maintain and grasp and continue to present that over these next decades as this dance evolves. Because if not, we will lose our culture. We will lose our language. They are already calling people athletes. And we are dancers. So we were always B-Boys and BGirls and dancers, but now we became, so it's language, and I understand it. But we have to pay attention to what's happening, people.
Of course. And so what's your opinion on Breakin going to the Olympics? Your personal opinion, because it's critical for the world to know how you feel because you're one of the icons in this world. When it comes to the top masters, let's imagine a kung fu movie flick like back in the days. Let's say 36 Chambers. They got senseis, they got masters. So if you got different clans, you're one of those masters, brother. And I know you have one of those biggest responsibilities wherever you go as a true hip hop like billboard, like I said earlier, what's your feeling in the sense of the breaking going to the Olympics? Because I could tell by you saying athletes, I don't like it myself because I got saved by the culture. I was in the ciphers. I was no competition B-boy. I was all about having fun. I learned from you guys. When I would go to house parties, Zulu Nation anniversaries, Rocksteady anniversaries, just random block parties. Like, come on, brother. Like, I remember you going after Battle Squad in Rocksteady Zulu Nation anniversary 1994. Footage that I recorded myself with my dad's camera, and I'm watching this. And Fable is also a witness, and he could tell you I was a little jit watching, and I'm like, what the hell am I watching? Guess what? That shit took me out of gangs. That shit took me because I was a Dykeman. You had the Nietas, Latin Kings, you had Familia, you had all those big gangs going around in the early 90s. And guess what? I wasn't part of none of that. I went to George Washington High School. I graduated from there. As soon as I got out of school, I went straight to my Zulu classes. And not only that, I was breaking. Breaking hip hop saved my life. And it took me out of the hood.
I'm gonna check in with you. So feel this. First of all, I'm not a master of nothing. You know, I fantasize about the traditions of hip hop with MCs talking about I own a mansion and a yacht. Like a lot of what I'm saying is going to fly over a lot of people listeners' heads. But with rap and with MCing back in the days, we fantasized about what we fucking wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's why we dressed up fresh. We dressed up with clothing that we couldn't even afford. And we couldn't even buy a fucking sandwich. So my thing is this, never a master. You follow me? But when I say about what I did, I think I did good.
And I appreciate your humbleness because that's true humbleness right there.
No.
That's true humbleness.
What I did. When I say 7 Grand Masters, I'm still fantasizing off of Kung Fu cinema.
Absolutely.
There was a movie that I liked, 78, 79. So I appreciate you saying that on your words, but I'm not a master of nothing. You follow me? I feel like I'm good at what I do, but I'm not a master. But what the whole community needs to understand is that we have a 4-decade up and down roller coaster of this art form, and it's very important for us to understand, to really look at those ups and downs, right? So ups and downs can be people like some sort of style of movement, like power moves, and then they went back to footwork, and then went back to style, so all these wordplay is very interesting for the culture, and when we look at it now, so it's still competitive. Like I'm going to judge a competition, it's a big one, and it's fine. It's not the Olympics, and it's fine. And I won't be judging the Olympics on behalf of your question. I'm not a judge. I don't want to be. And I respect everybody that is. I'm just saying it's not my thing. My thing is just, from where I come from. So I'm going to wrap it up real quick on behalf of that. I wanted to say that to you, Flash, because it's really important for our community to understand and know the work we put in to get to this point. Like
absolutely.
A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but I love the Olympics approach. I grew up with the Olympics. I'm an athlete. Before I was B-boying, I was any sport, football, baseball, basketball, soccer. I did even skateboarding before I got into B-boying. So I know what that is. You understand me? And what happened with breaking is it was just I can't even explain how different the feeling of breaking was to me as a person, as a teenager. So, it changed my life, and it opened something else up in me, because I understood discipline. I understood sports and training and I was good. Me and my two brothers, we was good at sports. We got tons of trophies before I was 12.
Did you ever do martial arts?
No, never. We never had no money for that. Never had no money.
So will you say breaking was a gift to you that just came out of nowhere and took you out of there?
I don't want to. I want to say it was something different. That graffiti writing, that shit changed my perspective. DJing just opened my whole fucking head up, and then emceeing was what it was, but it was more like when I saw breaking was the last element I saw. So when I saw breaking, it changed everything for me. It's just I saw myself as a B-boy, not even a dancer. And that's crazy because I didn't like the word dancer. So when my boy Doe said that's that B-boy shit, I was like, that shit sounds cool. I want to be a B-boy. Like that was it for me. That was it. That was the tip. And then when I understood that people, like people got down with this shit and you could prove yourself, it meant a lot to me.
That's so dope. Now, do you feel like in the hip hop culture there's a lack of respect for the elders, like right now?
I mean, it's universal. Like there's people that respect elders and there's people that choose not to.
Okay, that's fair. Now, what is something people seem to misunderstand about you?
Um, um,
If you think about over the years of just something that keeps popping up that you're like, man, motherfuckers misunderstand me. I'm this and that. Like whatever it is that comes to your mind that you feel that people misunderstand about you.
oh man, I'm good. I don't even know how to answer that. Like I'm like, if you don't understand me, then you got it fucked up. Because if you know me, you met me, you hung out with me, I'm a good brother, man. Trust me. And all you
Oh,
know,
for sure.
there's a few people on fucking five fingers that they hate the kid. Keep living, man. Because I'm gonna keep living. And I don't care about it.
That's
That's not my business. But there's a few people that don't like me, and that's fine. But there's a lot of people that love me. And that's the energy I want to ingest. So when you ask that question, like I can't really answer it.
no. That's fair. That's fair. Now, if you could go back to being a kid again, let's say that before even breaking came into your life, what would you tell yourself? What would be something you would tell that young Kenny? Because there's kids that will see and they'd be like, you know what?
Before
You could,
breaking, before
yeah,
breaking,
before breaking.
I was into baseball and I was a pitcher. And I was really good. I did the Goya Leagues in Central Park. Um, I was into sports very hard. And I would say to the kids before breaking, like when you commit yourself to something, push your bar high. There's people who can tell you what you need to do, but you need to push that bar higher than what they say. And you need to really commit to your passion to your drive. That's all I would say.
That's so dope. Now, what is something that you like? If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be? And let's talk about 50 years from now, 60 years from now, we're no longer here. What is something you want the future generations to remember you for? What is that one thing? And I know there's a lot, but what is that one thing specifically that you're like, yo, I want to be remembered for this? What is that, my brother?
I'm still alive, man. I just want to live. I want to be here right now. Those questions are kind of interesting.
They're interesting, but I want to know
I,
what you
I,
think.
I think that you know the beauty is that me and you have a chance to talk to each other right now, and there's a probability that in the future we can actually shake our hands and say what's up, and a lot of people in the world. Um, Life is short, bro, and it's like I know who I am, and I'm a good brother. And I'm a leader. I'm a boss. I've always took care of my people. So if that's a message, then that's it.
Hey, that's the answer. You want people to remember you as a leader, as a boss. That's dope. There's nothing wrong with that
No,
because
but I
that's
got
what you
love.
are.
I got love for people. You know, I care about people, and that's what I want. Follow me?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, what is something that you can contribute to the culture to make it better? And I know you've already contributed enough, but if it's extra things that you want people to see that, yo, you could contribute this much, what would be to make it better? Because, hip hop evolves, but something that you want to make it better. What is something?
Okay, that's a good question. Give me a second.
Yeah, that's fine.
I would say we need to contribute positive energy. It's I don't want to say add and fix, or it's not going to fix, but I say that we still need to understand the work that we did over all these years to become how powerful this culture is, that even the IOC wants to be a part of what we did for 50 years. So, it's we need to really pat ourselves on the back, all of us, from every neighborhood, every little jam, from 1979 to every little party. Like, we need to really appreciate and value the work we did to make it what it is now. Like, we borrowed people's speakers and we threw a jam with $100, and like, this is the whole shit worldwide that we did. We became together as a community to make this possibilities be real and throw jams that were great. And people were like, I love that fucking jam. You know, every country, like I have experienced that. So, in all that it is, we just need to really pat ourselves on the back to understand that we cultivated this culture all these years. Ah, yeah, maybe the world didn't see it, but no, the world saw it. They saw it. They. I know how great this dance is. So my message is, and also kind of coaching, not coaching, motivational thing is that let's not forget that we built this culture from the ground up, and that's why a lot of people want it now, and they want to take advantage of it, and it's fine. But just let's not lose grasp of the work we did. That's
Okay, okay. Now, can you name at least three jams that you could consider that you could have peace, unity, love, having fun that you've been to in the past 10 years that you could say from the top of your mind that you said, yo, that was like you just said it, that was a dope jam. Can you name three jams that you're like, yo, that shit was fly? I felt like I was back in the days at parties. Like,
a hard one, bro. I can't, and I'm going to tell you why I can't, because there were a lot. So the competition is what it is, right? So the contest is like this: judges, bang bang, ha ha ha, got your little computer on your hand, whatever. Look, the jam is the moment. Like an event is an event, but when the, when the, when the curtains go down and when you got them dark circles, you're going to see where the, the dancers come out, all styles, whatever it is. And I think that I can't answer three, because I think that most of the world jams understand this and have been doing it, and I appreciate that and I respect that. So I can't do three. I would say if there was 30, I would need like a month to.
now, will you see the US and
I
Europe?
don't know,
Do you
bro.
think Europe is living the 80s now?
My brother, I travel a lot, man, and
Oh, I know that.
COVID hit us up. I know how great this dance is. I know how great breaking is. There's no other entity that's going to tell me how great this is if they want to climb on board. Yeah, I mean, jams are bigger and better, and so my bro. Let's talk about this. This is really serious, and I'm not gonna keep it real short.
Please.
All right. So there's this whole thing, right? It's like funding, government, arts. You know, some countries are fucked, and some have support. So when you start thinking about how they can make this great jam, it starts with funding and inviting people and having funding to fly people and lodge people and feed people. Some countries don't have that. They don't, and in the US, I'm sorry, I live here. We're not doing too good, man.
I
There's
was about to ask you that. Like, do you
money.
think in the US the government is supporting the B-Boys and B-Girls and
No,
jams and
let's just say arts. Let's talk about let's talk about schools and institutions, right? B-boy and B-girl, it's what it is, right? But let's just say art in general.
okay.
Let's say instruments. Let's say dance in general, which could become B-boy and B-girl in the institutions of education and culture.
So arts program you're talking about basically.
Well, everybody's doing it on the underground. I see countries that have major budgets, annual budgets for cultural activity, and and they provide. They do like 2-week festivals. And I'm like, whoa. And then here in the States, we have a situation where it's not that cool. I'm not dissing my country. I love the United States. I love being here. I love this country. But yeah, man, things are different here for us. And it's not bad comparing to third world countries. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying New York City is the birthplace of hip hop culture.
Absolutely.
And they don't have a world championship there. That shit is fucking out of control.
Now, why do you think is that the city, New York, the BX, the Boogie Down Bronx, just everything, all these social programs that are around the city, we don't have that. We don't have that super dope support like in Europe. I know you were in Russia doing the Battle of the Gods and all that, and those brothers out there, they're doing it at another level. Just by watching and hearing, why do you think that's not happening here? Like, where do you think? Because we need an answer. We need a solution to help this, so the future kids of the generation they could do better. What do you think? Why? Like, why is this happening? What's your opinion on that?
Well, it's political history. And if you draw back 30 years of history in the US and just focus on New York, you'll see how things have been just a drawbridge up and down with different incentives, and the arts are failing, and they've been failing in arts programs for many years. And there's technology, and everything is changing. And New York is the Empire State. It's one of the biggest cities in the world that will continue to be what it is. So I think that there's a saying. It's like a New York minute. Everything comes and goes so fast in New York. New York is a fast-moving city. So trends and hobbies and fads, they will continue to just wrap themselves around, and some will be let go and some will continue. The strongest thing about hip hop culture, it became this multi-billion-dollar, like art form, culture, with rap primarily, but hip hop is huge to this day. And I would say that even though the institutions are grasping it, it doesn't provide opportunities for a lot of artists to really make a living with these art forms.
Okay, now there's so many controversies going on with talking about Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, Latinos. that are supposedly were guests in the hip hop culture.
Mm. Yeah.
What can you say about that?
Man, I came up in the street, came up low income. My mother raised me and my brothers. I got two other brothers. Came from fucking eating cornflakes and water and shit. I mean, come on, you know. But at the same time, poverty is poverty. You know, if you want to put class on it, put race. There was people that were all struggling in my neighborhood. You know? So when it came to hip hop, I came way later, so I can't talk about the early 70s. I talk about 79, 80 is the best perspective for me. But I never looked at it as racist. Like I had all my friends were just they were everything. It was I didn't even classify them. I didn't say you're a Chinese brother, you're a black brother. Like these were my friends. You know, we grew up together. So what I think is that, you know, right now, you know, everything is different. But when it's all said and done, it's black and brown culture to the heart. We know that, and it resonated on a lot of us, including myself, as we came up. My mother's born in Puerto Rico. My father's born in the United States. My father's white. My mother's Puerto Rican. My mother's family's from Cuba. You know what I'm saying? So I got a mix. I don't claim anything because I just claim New York. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. That's it.
I'm
That's your nationality, New York.
New York. I'm not trying to, you know, I love Boricua. Listen, man, if you look at my studio, man, you know, I don't fuck around, bro. My shit is
Oh,
real.
I know.
You know, my shit is good, and I represent my flag. You follow me? But
1,000%.
yeah, but you know, I'm born and raised in New York, and you know, I speak first language, unfortunately, English. I wish I spoke better Spanish. I don't, but I understand Spanish. You know, so but, you know, like I would say, you know, in the world, the whole culture has to be just really understanding of their personal space and their heroes and legends, right? But New York is the birthplace, is the core. New York is the birthplace of this culture. This is the birthplace of hip hop. And if the conversation and the narrative changes and it starts going to where some other countries created this shit, we're in big trouble. And that might happen soon.
Wow. So now, how do you think we could save that from happening?
Conversation.
Conversations. Okay. And conversations with how will you know you're having the conversation with the right people to make things better and not have those culture vultures that will grab the beauty of hip hop, the best part of it, and grab it and use it and abuse it? How will you know to have that conversation with that right person?
Who is the what? There's no such thing as the right person. There's no such thing. Like it's a person that has incentive, it has inspiration and truth and sincerity. Like, yo, even you, bro, you may have interviewed people, you don't know what the fuck they're talking about, brother. You're speculating, you know, you thinking they telling you the truth, right? You're a personality, you're a radio personality, right? So my thing is this: the grain is the grain. When you come from the grain, you come from what it is. I don't want to talk about stories that are before me. I think we all need to just be sincere with ourselves and be humble.
That's dope you saying that.
Yeah, be humble. Just talk the truth. Don't fabricate your shit. Don't fucking start talking about shit you didn't do. I think our culture is gonna flourish. It's flourishing now. I love it. But I think it's gonna flourish more with people just being just taking that breath in and saying, "Man, yeah, this is what it is for me." Not saying things you don't know.
So now, do you feel that like the OGs from your time that probably didn't keep going like yourself and other brothers that are still doing it like yourself, do you feel that they're just bitter and they start creating fantasy stories that were there in 1973 and they probably started in 87. You know what I'm saying?
My
Like,
man, see what you're doing right now. Well, brother, I'm not gonna go there. First of all, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm not an OG.
always.
See, I'm gonna tell you something real quick. That terminology is a West Coast terminology. That's original gangster. I got dudes that I learned that from the West.
Okay.
They
Okay.
taught me early. They taught me about those terminology. All of a sudden, we used to say old school in New York. All of a sudden, we calling ourselves OGs, and that's fine. I don't care. But from where I come from, I call myself old school because I know what an OG is.
So I would say true school then.
What you
True
say?
school.
Original gangster?
No, I'm saying true school. When I say the terminology OG, and I'm saying original gangster,
I like it.
it's a term that was kind of used and abused in the sense. I know it's original gangster, but OGs people kind of they misinterpret it as
you're
old
right. You're right.
school.
Old school. Okay, I understand it now. But
True school.
as a brother from my time, we never said that word. So
Okay.
why are we changing our language right now in New York? See, so it's cool. It's cool. It's fine. But I never said OG. we said old school. So now the whole world's New York people say OGs, and I get it. I understand it. But you know what an OG is?
Of course I know. 1,000%.
And you know what it? I mean, I'm not gonna even go there, man. That's some culture.
But
shit.
it's the same. It's the same thing as people taught saying breakdance, b-boy, breaking. If
You're right,
you
you're
were
right, you're right. But you know, back over here. So I live in LA now. You know what I mean? I live here now. I moved a few years back. I'm back and forth to New York. But that shit right there, the gangster shit is different here
oh yeah, definitely.
than in New York. This shit is
Now,
real fucking serious over here. This
now
shit.
if I would have had a conversation with you in 1996,
Yeah, yeah.
you would have had the same mentality as what OG is, or you would have not
No,
said it at
we
all.
didn't even say that word. We didn't even say that. We identified that word with West Coast rappers. That's what we identified with in New York. Because we had crews. You know, there's outlaws and gangs.
Yes.
But you know, they said you're an outlaw. You're a gang member, right? They said you're in a crew. You know what I mean? But they never put that label on us in that sense as an OG. And you know, it's adult slang to use for an older person.
And I do know because I
You know,
have families that are
I met brothers here, rest in peace. I'm not gonna say no names. They broke it down to me when I was in my travels, and they let me know about this side of the earth. The West Coast is some other shit, and
oh, absolutely. I have family members that are I have family members that are one percenters,
There you go. There you
and
go.
they
It's
you know
serious.
what I'm saying? And
Bro.
they tell me what's up.
Yeah, and it's good money, and I love them, and I love the lifestyle. I'm never against any of that. I grew up. My cousin Rocky was with the Sandman. You know, these dudes with 1%. They didn't give a fuck about nothing. Follow me. They didn't wear.
Yeah.
They were not dancers. They were just. You know what it is. I'm not gonna go.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not gonna go further with you.
Yes, definitely. And now your travels and everything you've done for the culture, and you're known everywhere when it comes to hip hop, b-boy. Like even you're in Wikipedia. Like like that's a goal right there. Like yo, you put Google, you're in Wikipedia. Like come on now. Like that's something to celebrate right there because where you come from, so many kids are there right now. They're in the ghetto. Like they're stuck in there and they don't know how to get out. When I was a kid, the only choices I had was join the army, join one of the gangs, or be good at some type of sport. But then hip hop came in, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, oh shit. And Lucky Strike, rest in peace, he said, little brother, there's a way out of Dykeman. There's a way out getting out of there. And I figured it out and I got out and I see you guys travel with Jam on the Groove and so many things you guys did. I was like, holy shit, I want to do the same thing. You know, brothers were buying houses in Jersey. Brothers were leaving. Look, you're in LA right now.
Appreciate
Like,
that.
That's official. Like, that's a goal for a lot of kids that don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I had my mom was on WIC, social programs, you know, like we live the same life in the BX, in the Heights. Like, I know that living. I know how that is. So back then, when you would battle, wherever you would battle at, I know because of the brothers, old school, true school, have mentioned that it was mostly the crowd will be the judge. The crowd will know and they will scream and they will go crazy for whatever crew it is. What do you think is the difference of now from that moment and that? Do you think it could go back to that?
So here's the thing: it's never going to go back to what it was, right? Because right now it's what it is. You know what I mean? We got crowds that are still going to do, like, if you go to a party right now and it's just a regular party, right? It's a club. People drink, they drinks, and everybody looking fly and it's whatever. And a motherfucker go down, right? Girl or guy, and they rock. People gonna love that shit, or they're gonna hate it. You know, but there's no contest now. Understand me? So the club is always going to be the best critic because it's the party crowd, right? They're like, we just love what's happening. Let's make our choice. But in the art form, it's different in a sense, you know. And now the art has been restricted to being really particular: house dance, popping, lock it, all style. So, you know, we have audiences and judges that are going to be making decisions on behalf of their experience. Some audiences don't have any experience. So I don't think we can go back to what it was, but crowds are always going to be crowds. And that's the answer to your question.
That's such a dope answer. And one of the thing, and I'm gonna give you a little rebuttal on that, or let's say a little feedback of what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, for what I've heard, sometimes crews will bring 30, 40 deep fans, go to a spot, battle a crew. The other crew had about 10 people, but they were nasty. But the crowd will respond more for the crew that brought like 40, 50 deep into the battle. Sometimes that happens now. You got, let's say, a crew that goes to Japan to battle and is battling the Japanese. And you're in hometown. Everyone knows that crew in Japan.
It don't matter, bro. Skills are skills. Skills are skills. And
Okay.
now we got videotape. People can say what they want. When people reel the shit back and rewind, they're gonna know what the truth is. Like, this is all objective. It's all objective, bro. Here,
Yes.
I like you. Ken Swift says, that's my opinion. I don't know shit. I'm dope at my shit. I'm good at breaking. I've done shit all my life, but it's just my opinion. I say it like this: I think you fucking with dope. I think you killed it. So with crowds, right? With crowds, you're talking about audiences that felt something specific. And what they felt was not really the breaking thing. It was the personality thing. You understand? So maybe the moves were better from, it's all about personal energy and character and spirit and soul. That's what crowds that don't know about breaking love. You know, it's really important what I'm saying to you right now, because this is the origin, this is the essence of this art form. You know, it's, you know, you can do a move, you can outdo a move. We can keep evolving a fucking swipe. But what people see, audiences see, they feel something that is an energy that's from the soul.
So will you say the character of the person that comes out from the soul?
So. I think so. A little bit more also. But that doesn't mean they won. It just means, like, so back in the days, there were dance contests, right? And one dancer would dance and one dancer would dance and the crowd would choose it. These were disco dance party contests. This is way before breaking, you know, started, or had contests in a disco, which wouldn't happen because you had to be over 18 to go into a disco. So, but you had people that felt something, and the majority said, "Yeah, that girl is incredible," or the majority said, and that was that. And when the night ended, it was like, "Oh, they won," and you had to deal with that. You know, I did contests, a few like that in the early '80s, and it was just like what the crowd wants. There weren't no judges. The crowd was the
So they
judge.
will go against you, and that the crowd will be like, "Nah, he didn't win."
They would choose who they wanted. The crowd would say, the host would be like, who, like they would make it to be like, who do you like? And people were like, whatever.
So now, what will be more important after the battle? Okay, the audience enjoyed you, and they thought you won. But then once you going home, you got 3 or 4 crews that come up to you, "Yo, Kenny, the audience loved the other guy, but you really won the battle."
Nah, but I can't answer that question because I only went to I only went to battles that nobody gave a fuck about. We was in roller skating rinks. It was just like there was no conversation. It might have been a fight right after that. If
So it will be territorial in the sense that Rocksteady comes in, you see different colors, and that's it. It's there's no talking. It's just reacting.
I think when we went to a spot, we just went to break, and whatever happened, what happened. We didn't have an agenda or a plan. Even before Rocksteady with Young City Boys, I had a crew before Rocksteady, and we just went to meet girls in different neighborhoods, and we would go to parties and break, and that alone would cause so much controversy because we were showing off. And it's crazy because this culture could have easily been called show off culture because it's what we were trying to do. We were trying to show off, and we were trying to make ourselves look the best, dressed up nice, little dip, and get a little shorty to give us an eye so we can have a moment to say hello. I was young. I didn't know how to talk to girls when I was a kid. But I knew that when I first did a move one time in a party, I was like, oh, snap. And the girls were looking at me funny. I was like, oh, shit, this is cool. So it's just a young thing. It's a teenage thing. So on behalf of your question, like with crew battles, if we set them up, everybody brought their entourage. We brought our girls and our guys, and everybody just showed up. That was it. Like Lincoln Center, same shit.
Okay, and now in Lincoln Center there were no judges. This is just exhibition battle, or was that a real battle? Because a lot of people don't know about that.
It was real. It was real. It was real, but we also were so we battled, right? When the music came on, we did what the fuck we do. But we were on a platform nobody had ever seen. We were never put in front of an iconic art institution of dance, and Lincoln Center is like amazing. It's like, it's very famous. So, but when the battle started, we battled. We did our shit. We knew what the fuck we came to do. They knew what the fuck they came to do. And it was cool. And it was dope.
And after the battle, y'all were cool with each other, or everybody goes their own way?
We all hung out. Man. We all hung out. It wasn't no vicious shit. Nobody got punched in the face. I mean, like, seriously, like, it could have happened. A lot of people got viced after that event. People don't talk about that. But yeah, people that would, a lot of people from the hood came to see that, and motherfuckers got their chain snatched, a couple sneakers snatched. That's real talk.
Because I do know, talking to my uncles, and back then, they're 55 and up, and they told me that I was very notorious. Stick up kids back then were very, very, that was everywhere. Like, it don't matter. It was like a second job, kind of like you half the day you're doing something in the park, and then in the evening you're a stick up kid. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying like back then it was very notorious for that.
Yeah, I can't sugarcoat anything about the history of us. I said you got straight moon and all that shit, but we were still street kids. Just keep it funky with you. So you don't have to hear me say that. We got into a lot of trouble. You know what I'm saying? We weren't a gang, but we were acting like fucking you know, people that reckless punks, you know, reckless kids, you know, and I'm not going to celebrate that. But that's real talk because we lived there. You heard?
But I believe it's important for people to know what it was so that way it won't repeat itself. Because you don't want young kids sticking up anyone or doing this and that. You know, I believe that the next generation's supposed to do better than us. You feel what I'm saying? So like, and they have to look at someone like yourself. It's kind of like a dad, like, yo, who's gonna guide me? Because if my dad is not guiding me, the streets are.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course I do. I
Fast.
know what you're saying so fucking powerfully, and you know that's the incentive. And you know, it's this community we have now is so beautiful. Um, what I love about this culture right now is that I go to jams and I never see anybody fucking fight. I never see no fights, no punches, no fucking gangster shit. Like hip hop is so dope. We're breaking, but that's breaking, right? So when we talk about other elements of the culture, shit gets a little sticky, right or wrong. Even
Absolutely.
with graffiti and wall writing, that shit is still that shit can get a little sticky because it's
Yes.
very underground. Follow me? So,
Oh,
but what I love about breaking is that motherfuckers are good actors. They want to be tough guys, but when the smoke clears, nobody's throwing hands. And I love that. I love that. I love that a lot because you know when you get your feelings hurt back in the days, man, that's when you got jumped. You got fucked up because you made somebody look stupid in front of their girlfriend or somebody. Like this shit right now, yo, I've seen B-boys get and B-girls get burned really bad, like in a battle, and they feel so sloppy, but they walk away from it. You know, you come back and you get your props. You got to train again. What I love is that that violence isn't here, but what I don't like is that the violence is still there in our world, in our communities. And I feel like me personally, I'm trying to reach people, you know, outside of this, man, and trying to give them a alternative method to express their energy or anger.
which is beautiful because you being an icon, you're traveling. Where you heading in a few hours? Where you heading to? Aren't you
Vietnam.
going to oversee?
I'm going to Vietnam to the RF Jam. Yeah.
Ooh, 15 hours flight.
13 probably. In total 15 probably.
Cool. So now, do you usually teach workshops at certain
Yes,
events or?
that's what I do. I'm Kenny, man. You know, I'm a mentor. I'm a teacher. You know, those are the words we used. You know, later in the 90s, we started using those words because when we were young, we were students. You know, and we still are in our own right. But when we were young, you know, we were learning from the elders, and then you know, as we got famous, we were able to have some sort of responsibility. And that's why I manifested being a teacher because I like to share information. You know what I mean? I like to share something with somebody. To me, it feels good to share something with somebody. You know, I don't know everything. Of course not. I'm not a first generation breaker, but I'm fucking good at what I do, you know, and I know that and I respect that. So with me, it's like, yeah, we're sharing. I'm not a coach. No, I'm not.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you
No,
want,
I just want to know.
I can coach you in basketball or football or baseball. I can
There
coach.
you go.
I can coach you, and we don't have to play music. But with hip hop, music, the beat is the fucking deal, and that's the difference. Like when I used to play sports, I didn't have to dribble on the beat. I didn't have to be on the baseball plate like this, dancing while I was waiting for the ball to come to me. It was something different. It was sport. Dance is specific. It's different. It's very personal and not. It defies the laws of uh, what will be contemporary or no. It kind of just defies the laws of dance in a sense. Some sort of dances, right? To where you got to do it specifically. What breaking did for everything was just like we could take every fucking thing in the world and put it into breaking. You know what I'm saying? So I see
Absolutely.
myself as a teacher, as Kenny, as the guy that would just give you love, man. That's me.
For sure. Now that you're living in LA, let's say if the Board of Education in LA approaches you and says, "Yo, I want you to be the teacher at certain, you know, universities, colleges," you would
Mm.
take that position?
Well, I guess you don't know that when I moved out here. So I had and I'm not going to brag about myself because it's stupid. But in New York, I got a residency, a scholar in residency at NYU, right? So, and Manny Kai, a really good friend of mine, we did a couple lectures, and then Martha Diaz from the hip hop, she has a whole hip hop whole thing going on over there, educational thing. They trusted me, and I did some things there. When one of those professors moved out to LA, you know, uh, I made a move to LA just to figure it out, and there was an opportunity. So I started teaching at the University of California, Riverside. I lectured and taught dance and lecture for 2 semesters, spring semesters over there. They let me go for 1 year, and then I started teaching at UCLA. So I've been teaching at UCLA now. I lecture hip hop, culture, history, and dance at UCLA. I've been doing this, and I start my next semester in 3 weeks, the spring semester. So I'm an educator. I'm a teacher. This is what I do here, man.
Super, super freaking fresh, dope in every way.
Yeah.
And will that, when you were younger, or not younger, let's say 20 years ago, 2000, Y2K, did you ever think in your mind you will be a teacher at UCLA and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I never wanted to, no, of course not. Kidding me? Like, what? UCLA? It's crazy. Um, I manifested being a teacher in Brooklyn when I had Break Life Studios. So I had my partner Don to help me out open the studio from Inferno Entertainment. We had a club called Brooklyn Soul in Williamsburg in 2004 and 2005, and he gave me a shot. And I grew up with this brother. This is my partner that I grew up with, Dante. You can read about him in my readings, my writings. He
Hmm.
one of the first guys that we were in third grade together, fourth grade. So he opened a club and he allowed me to use the space to teach free in Brooklyn. And then we opened a studio in Bushwick. So in that studio, I started writing what I wanted to teach. I started writing my whole structure, and I wrote the whole structure, and I knew what it would be, and I didn't know where it would come. But when the opportunity came up for UCLA and UCR, it was perfect, and it just worked out.
That's so official. Now, the fact that you're teaching now, have you ever thought of writing a book?
Okay. Well, I've been writing a book for like 12 years, and it's been difficult. Uh, it's The Art of Breaking by Ken Swift. Um, the writing and publishing and the business of that is interesting. Now, but you can do an online book in 5 minutes and just
Yeah, like an ebook. Yeah.
you can do your shit. So I've been working. So being that you said that, I'm gonna pull out well, here's my library real quick. It's kind of extensive. Like this, what you see here is just not even the tip of the iceberg. I think I have like with my girl, my love, also fly. She's an educator and teacher, art education scholar. We have great books. So the book that just came out is called the Oxford Book of Hip Hop Dance Studies. So I got the first.
Nice.
I can show it to you. You may have seen it. You may have not. So,
Wow, that is so official. Where can you cop that? Where can you get
well,
that at?
you got to go online and figure it out. So my dude, trust me when I tell you, it's a big deal. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. There's a lot of great authors. There's a lot of great contributors. Um, they asked me to write a chapter, and I wrote it, and it's some of my best writing. Uh, and my chapter opens the book. Thank you, God. for that. So
Congratulations, my brother.
yeah,
That's like you basically setting the bar high
yeah.
for a lot of brothers out there.
And sisters, and there's a lot of good brothers and sisters that wrote shit in here. You even got a chapter from. Let me just break it down for your show,
Yeah,
right?
go ahead, go
There's
ahead,
a
brother.
lot of good
That's
authors here,
official.
man. It's not just about Kenny, man. Kenny. He's just Kenny. But I'm gonna just do this real quick. So you got a bunch of people that are authentic, real dope ass motherfuckers. Excuse my language.
It's all good, brother.
So we got Vanessa Fleet. We got Storm. Storm has it. Moncel has an article.
Okay.
Eric Pellerin on Kung Fu and breaking. Mary Fogarty. There's authors of B.Girls and B.Boys. Mary Park from New York. She had a time there, and Midas from Canada. Like there's dope ass people that are dancers and great people. Paul Sadat, Tony Ingram, Stephen Buddha, Leaf Floor from Canada, a legend from up there. It's so really it's a cool book. It's kind of expensive. I'm sorry, it's not my fault, but but it's kind of expensive. But it's my first publishing, and I'm very proud and blessed.
Man, congratulations on that. And I hope you make 10 more books because I'll be reading them for sure. Now, are you a book reader? You like reading a lot of different books?
No, I actually don't. I do in my in what I have to do as an educator in the university. I read a lot on behalf of what I'm sharing. I'm a more of a I read the newspaper. Like I'm a more periodical, like daily person. Uh, I read books and start and I finish like in the third 20th page. I leave it down and I forget about it. So I'm not the best reader, unfortunately, which is crazy. And it's because I'm a hyper dude, and I may be, what do you call it, ADHD, whatever. Like I just can't finish a book sometimes. I don't know. I'm a dancer, whatever. I'm a b-boy. But I love to read every morning, and I read a lot, and I read for my culture to keep myself abreast to what's happening in my world.
Now, in the school that you're teaching, do
Yeah.
you also teach academics, history of the dance and stuff like that besides moves?
Okay. So Flash. So for the first 2 years at UCR, I taught a hip hop history lecture and dance. So I did 40 hours of each. I did that for 2 semesters. In UCLA, I did the same thing. I did 40 hours of lecture, 40 hours of dance. The third term, they said, we just want you to lecture because the breaking was very hard on the students and a lot of people were getting hurt. So they asked me the last 3 semesters coming up now. So I lecture about the history of hip hop culture. I lecture about the history and the art of the culture. So what I dig into is each element. I'm teaching not just, the stories about, whatever you hear. I'm talking about I was a writer, I was a DJ, I was an MC, I was a b-boy, and I'm sharing the underground artistic truths, what you won't read in books. That's the beauty. That's why I love this class. I love it so much.
That's so dope. Now, is it Monday through Friday?
No,
Is
I
it
do. So I have I do Tuesdays and Thursdays at UCLA with the World Arts Cultures Dance Department, and I do a 2 hours lecture 2 times a week. Yeah, for the semester, which will be about 29 classes. It's a lot of work, and it's challenging, and it's really good for me to push myself to rethink everything, every year. So it's good for me.
now when you come back home every time you go to teach class, do you bring back homework from students that you
Absolutely,
gotta?
absolutely. Well, the thing about I don't. I'm still learning how to be a good teacher. I'm not the greatest teacher in a university perspective. I'm asking a lot of people to help me out. I got the gift of gab. I can talk to you. I can share shit. I'm passionate about what I love. So that resonates. But there's also, you have to have a specific way to make things happen that students expect in that environment. It's not really a language, it's just the way things work. When I talk to people, I want them to respond, and that's the homework. I say, think about what we looked at today. So I might show a film, right? And I'll be like, okay, and I'll stop the film and I'll be like, all right, so what do you guys think so far? Because a lot of these students are very young and they don't know about they know about rap, but they don't really know about hip hop culture. So I encourage them to respond and have a conversation, and I think that's part of their grade, and it's part of me knowing that they're listening. So it's not easy, and the material, the films are great because they're just classic. Um, but yeah, I do want them to respond to me and have conversations.
Now, what do they call you as a teacher?
That's funny. They say Mr. Kenny. No, it was Mr. Swift. Mr. Swift.
That is so
Most of
cool,
the time.
Mr. Swift.
Professor Swift. A
Professor,
lot.
I was gonna say that. I didn't want to throw it there, but
No,
you said it. So
that's the language they do though. Like they do that language. Professor. If it's Professor Who, they say that word first. But you know what I love is when I open the class. I'm about to start on the 4th, and I'm just like excited. But I just open it up with loud ass fucking music. Fucking, I'm playing Spoonie G, like just like.
now, can you name 5 top songs that you can listen to over and over again, and you don't get tired of? 5.
Yeah, well, that's a good question, man. Like I'll tell you what, spoon and rap. We're gonna get tired of that. One of my favorite MCs of all time, Spoonie G. Um, it's super rapping. I love that. Furious Five. It's a hard question. It would take time because there's so many great ones. Um,
Whatever comes to your head.
well, those two would right on the top. I would say also
Because I know you love rocking,
love rap.
and I know
Love
you
rap.
you
Love
you
rap.
love your funk
No,
and you all
I'm
that.
talking about rap right now. I'm talking about rap culture. I'm talking about the culture before all this.
Yeah, yeah,
Boom.
definitely.
So I'm talking about love rap. Treacherous 3. That's a break beat. That song starts with a break. That shit is crazy. That shit blows my mind. If I heard that right now, I'd just bad out right now. Just it's a hard question, bro. With music in general, because of hip hop culture embraces so many different genres of music. Um, there's a lot of stuff. I love Candido, Camero. There's some songs. Uh, wow. There's damn Dennis Coffey. The artists are. If I start right now, I just keep going.
Will you throw in Jimmy's Castor Bunch or no? Is it
I
played
would.
out for
I
you?
would. I would. I liked his whole dictionary of music. I loved it. It was radical. It was great, and one of the greatest songs of all time, Jimmy Castor.
What about Babe Ruth?
I would put that as I would love the Mexican, love that, but I would say James Brown is my favorite of all time, and his music is just it's what I say a B-boy or B-girl. That's that shit. That's that James Brown shit right there. That's that funky ass shit to me.
So would that be a track? Let's say this is the last time in your life that you have to showcase to the entire world what a B-boy is all about, and you have to choose that one song. Would it be a James Brown song?
Now it would be Apache.
Incredible Bongo Band.
Apache, yeah.
Would you say that's the theme song for Ken Swift?
No, I would say that was one of the biggest inspirations. That and Dance to the Drummer's Beat were two of my favorite songs. And
So
Scorpion.
what would you say is the theme song for Ken Swift if there's a movie out called Ken Swift?
Wow, good question. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's fine. Because if you think about like back in the day, MASH had the theme song. You had Shaft, they had a theme song. So now we got Ken Swift. What's his theme song?
I'm a music person. Trust me. I love.
Oh, I know that you are, and you also DJ. I know that too.
I can't put a hand on it, but I would say that
At
song,
least throw a few of them. It doesn't have to be
no,
one.
that song might lean away from, like, if you're talking about like at the end. It's not Apache, God forbid. I mean, like, I hope I live.
Okay, so the intro. Let's start with the intro. Let's start with the intro, brother. Because you know Shaft has the intro.
I like that song. Fat backing. And you don't even know about that, do you?
Of course I do. I can't sing it because you can't sing that song.
Instrumental.
Yeah, you can't sing that song. That's what I'm saying.
When
So
I
will that be it?
That's too funky for everything. I just love that song.
So what will be the opening credit for you in your vision?
Credit for what?
Meaning the beginning. You know, like in Shaft, you have a beginning. Will you appear top rocking, or will your Muggsy? How will the beginning of the movie will start with that track? Will you be walking in the BX? What are you doing?
I'll be chilling out with my best friends, just saying what's up. Picture of us breaking bread, what's up, and then we're gonna throw it back or throw it forward, Like
Where will you picture that scene?
Well, that's New York, of course, man. That's Harlem. That's uptown. All my brothers.
So you will be in Harlem, not the Boogie Down Bronx?
Nah, man, I'm not from the Bronx, bro. I'm from Harlem.
No, I know that, but I just asking questions just to see where you at, because a lot of brothers don't know you from Harlem.
I will be in Harlem, bro. I got love for the Bronx, trust me. Got love for the birthplace, but I'm not gonna front.
I was born in Harlem, and I lived my first 10 years of my life on 111th Street on the west side, and I was born in Mount St. I can never say that damn hospital. It's in in Harlem. It was in Harlem. It's no longer there.
Mount Sinai, they got that. Got St. Luke's. So yeah, there's two. So you was on 111, right?
Yes.
Do you know what avenue you was on the east or west?
I was a little kid. I don't remember that, because after that I went to the Heights.
Okay, and you went uptown.
But there's a hospital that used to be there and they moved it.
Well, it was Knickerbocker. Yeah, my mom used to work at a hospital there. But yo, that's good. That's good to know, man. Cause I'm from 97th Street, right there.
Okay.
And when I got when I had my kids, I lived on 106. So you was right there on 111. You were right by. You might have been right by that big church.
Yes, it was literally around the church.
Yeah, that's it. So you're right there on 111. Yeah, that's 111 is right where the church starts. It's St. John's Divine.
That's exact. Boom.
It's one of the biggest in the United States. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice one, bro.
Yeah, man. Harlem.
Where you live now?
I'm in Orlando, Florida now. I moved down here in 2005.
You did the let's evac from the New York.
Dude, let me tell you, I left the hood. I said, I can't do this anymore. Latin kings were everywhere. Nietas, familia. Some people were confusing the Zulu Nation as gangs. I was a Zulu, so people thought I was in the gang. And I'm not saying they chased me out of.
That's a whole nother conversation, my brother.
Exactly.
That's a whole nother fucking talk. People don't know about that shit.
Say no more. And I would love to have you on the show just to showcase more of your tours, just everything that you have done, because it's kind of difficult to grab 2 to 3 hours. And you know what?
Yo, my man.
24 hours. 24 hours. You cannot put 40 years in this shit.
You can't. I appreciate you the respect to have you consider me to be a part of your show. And thank you for that, man. I appreciate it, and that's really cool. What I say is sincere, man. And I'm gonna wrap it up with this. When if you know me, people that know me, they know I come from the grain. My mother raised me, man, and I value and pride the fact that I'm a person that comes from the spirit and the heart. And if you know me, you know that.
Oh, I do know.
and,
Trust
and,
me.
and, and,
And,
and I'm happy to be considered to talk. Trust me.
man, you are an icon in my life, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like okay, I'm gonna put it this way so you understand where I'm coming from. When I was a kid, I had few heroes. I was into Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior. Of course, I saw Sylvester Stallone as Rambo, Arnold
Mhm.
Schwarzenegger.
Me too.
So I started realizing there were fictitious characters. But when I started meeting brothers like yourself, Rocksteady Crew, New York City Breakers, Dynamic Rockers, Dynasty Rockers, everyone, Incredible Breakers or Floor Masters, New York City Breakers, whatever you want to call it, those became my real heroes because they were in the physical world that I could actually see you and be like, yo, that's Ken Swift. I saw you on Beat Street. What? He's in the same studio with me. He's teaching a routine. Like, do you understand what it did to me? Me at the
I
age
don't
of what?
But bro, we humans, man. That
I
doesn't.
understand that.
All that means is I'm fucking happy that you're inspired. That's all. Yo, we both cut ourselves. We're gonna bleed the same way, bro.
No, no, no. I understand that, but I just want you to understand what you did to a lot of brothers
No,
in
I
the hood,
get it. I get it, man.
and
I'm
you need to
grateful.
receive that. You need to
I'm
receive that and
grateful.
take it
I'm
in.
grateful, but I'm still the same dude you are. The
Absolutely,
same person
absolutely.
you are.
And that's where your humbleness comes in. That's where
We
your
the same
humbleness comes
dude,
in.
man. We come from the same. We come from the same situations, and I mean, I'm just grateful, man. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna give you your own screen right now, and I want you to tell everybody
Yeah.
what are you up to these days? Where can people find you online and connect with you? Take it away, my brother.
Yeah. Um, well, I'm on media, and you guys know who I am, and I have a nice space now. Thank the universe. I have my space. I have a studio, and if you're ever in LA, reach me at 7gems@gmail.com. And if you want to come, this is some private shit. It's exclusive. You know what I'm saying? This is not a joke, man. This is the study that we've been preparing for many years from Brooklyn to LA. And
Official,
if you
official.
guys want to study the whole culture, not we will talk. We won't just dance. If you guys want to come through, reach me and reach my manager, yarolutz@gmail.com, and come through. It'll be fun.
Any shout outs? Anyone out there that you want to give a shout out when they see this, they at least feel some type of way like, oh shit, Ken Swift gave me a shout out.
I mean, if you're talking about you're in Orlando right now, I want to say peace to all the B-Boys and B-Girls from Florida in general. The 90s, they had a big impact on the world. So I want to shout out all the Florida B-Boys and B-Girls from all the cities down there. Yo, that was my heyday with the Pro-Am. Peace to the
Oh
Pro-Am.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they gave me a shot, and I saw dancing elevate in the 90s in Miami. So Miami gets their props always. And Orlando, of course, the crews that come from back and forth. So that's what I have to say. And I want to say peace to my man. Look, man, there's a lot of people from Rocksteady Crew people don't acknowledge. I want to just give respect to Frosty Freeze. Take one.
Rest in peace.
Well, take one is Chippy D. Like, these are my brothers. Buckball, Kuriaki. So many more. But Rocksteady became something else, and I don't even think people know who Take One is. And he was one of
Absolutely.
the iconic members of our crew and KPD. So I just want to give them love, and that's it. And thank you, bro.
Yo, thank
Appreciate
you,
it,
man.
Poppy.
It's an honor, Ken. And I know you hate it, but I have to say it. Thank you, Master Ken Swift, because for me, you're one of those masters. If there's a mountain, there's a temple, you're there like this,
I
meditating,
ain't no
chilling.
master. I ain't no master, but I'm good. I ain't no master, but I'm good.
But thank you, man. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's my
that
pleasure.
is the icon legend, Ken Swift, right there. I go by the name of Flashback. This is Flash Talks, history worth listening to. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Peace out, y'all.